Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Friday, December 20th, 2024. I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is Sunshine Cathedral's executive minister. He's also my husband, Bishop Robert Griffin, and Sunshine Cathedral's Minister of Connections, the Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can become part of it, no matter where you live in the world. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. And if you enjoy the Queer God Squad, please share this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities. At Sunshine Cathedral, we want you to know that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Sunshine Cathedral has a new Canon Theologian. In the Anglican tradition, a canon is someone who shares in the ministry of bishops as a sort of extension of the episcopal office. A canon usually has one specific area of ministry, such as stewardship, theological education, equipping other clergy for their ministries, offering spiritual support to the bishops, or helping people embrace spiritual disciplines. Bishop Durrell and Bishop Robert, the senior and executive pastors respectively, served as canons for Bishop Durrell's predecessor, the Right Reverend Lynn, a bishop in the Old Catholic tradition. Durrell was the Canon Precentor, which is liturgist, and Robert held the title of canon while serving as the dean of the cathedral's religious education program. With Sunshine Cathedral's pastors, a gay married couple, both long-term HIV survivors, and one, though presenting as male, identifying beyond the traditional gender binary, being made auxiliary bishops of the Global Justice Institute, they decided to install Reverend Dr. Rob Lee IV as Sunshine Cathedral's first Canon Theologian. Canon Lee fits well with Sunshine Cathedral's model of local and global ministry. Dr. Lee lives in North Carolina, but with visits to Fort Lauderdale and projects online, will serve the local and global Sunshine Cathedral community. He is an LGBTQ ally, an anti-racism activist, an author, a podcaster, and a public theologian who has ministered to the first family of the United States, the Bidens. Sunshine Cathedral says, "Welcome home" to the Reverend Dr. Canon Robert Lee IV. Welcome home, Canon Lee. Yeah. I was so pleased by this. I've heard him, he's preached here, I think, 3 times. Mm-hmm. I think here a few weeks ago was the 3rd time. And there was a line in his sermon that just struck me. It was so good. And when you're talking about theologian, it's God talk. Mm-hmm. And we have this, or he said, we have this idea of God. And at Christmas time or around the holidays, we bring God out until it gets uncomfortable. And then we put God back in this box and we put the lid back on and put it back under the tree, just kind of getting it out of the way. And I thought, what a powerful, incredible image, a way of thinking about God. We bring out God when we want God around, and then when it gets uncomfortable, when it poses things that we're not really sure about, then we put God back in this box and put the lid back on. What a powerful image. So what a great person to have is our Canon Theologian at Sunshine Cathedral.
He became a person of notoriety a few years ago, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, because of the Confederate statues. There was all this controversy because they're very painful for a lot of people, very, very hurtful. Sure. And so they're being moved, sometimes removed, sometimes just moved to other maybe museums or, whatever. But not just the town square or the city park. We shouldn't have to look at that. And people say, well, it's just history. Well, no, it's not history, because it's not like they were here in the 1800s and we were like, well, they were already here, we don't want to take them down. They were erected during Jim Crow. Yeah. To praise a horrible past and to intimidate people of color. So, and even if they were part of it, it's still a horrible past. But no, these were erected for really clearly nefarious reasons, and so they had to go. And Dr. Lee was part of that effort to get them removed. He testified before Congress, and so he was on the news, the cable news shows, and He did some blogging about it, and so he became a person of some notoriety around that. And then his name, hello, Robert Lee. And in fact, the General Robert Lee was a great uncle of his. He's a collateral descendant. So he and that Lee had a common ancestor. And so he's the family name, but he's on the right side of things, whereas his ancestor was not. And so he just became sort of, and because of that, we asked him to preach one time. And of course, our people loved him and he loved us. And that became a relationship that over about a year and a half, 2 years, led to him being our canon theologian. Now, this model, he doesn't live here. He may or may not ever move here. I don't know. People do. People love it here, but he doesn't have to. That is a model we embraced early on because we wanted to have talent, and we didn't want the talent to be limited by where you lived or whatever. So we have had, over the last 18 years, we have had Robin Provis, the Reverend Robert Provis, who's now a Lutheran pastor. She's been a chaplain. She's been around for a long time. Mona West, a spiritual spiritual discipline, spiritual companionship, spiritual formation sort of expert, and a Bible scholar and a pastor. And so we've had Reverend Mona West, B.K. Hipsher, actually ongoing on the payroll as a stipendiary minister. Never lived here, but provided weekly ministry for us, especially in the online community. The Reverend Cindy Lippert, as a guest preacher, coach, has been a support to some of our leaders, and now Rob Lee. So the title of canon theologian is new, but the idea of getting someone beyond our zip code to help serve people all over the world, that is a well-established practice of ours, and we're probably going to keep that going. We may call some of the future ones canon also, who knows? But this idea that you don't have to live here to serve our local and global community, we've been playing that game since almost day one.
Right, it has served us well.
And I think, what I like about being around Dr. Lee is like his theology so matches ours as well, as an ally. And I think just listening to him preach or talk, I go back and watch some of his stuff online. It's like, good Lord, I wish I had known what I known at that age that he knows. But it's based on life experiences and stuff like that. But just to think about how he really kind of, I would imagine somebody took on his whole family history to come out as the justice person that he came out to be also. So, but I also think of the legacy that he's building for his two girls also. Just think, that's my dad that has done these things, testified before Congress and also stood up to this whole anti-racism thing that would need to be stood up and injustice that surrounded for so many years since Jim Crow. And so I think, just being around him is like, reminds me we are connected to something that's much greater than we are. It's a mystery beyond our understanding, and yet here it is live in front of us. And so welcome home to Canon Lee.
Yes.
I will tell this one story. It's not really mine to tell, but here I am doing it anyway. He was telling us at lunch the other day about one of his daughters wanted to be an acolyte, and the church made her wait a little bit, but finally she got to be an acolyte. And so she got to wear a little robe and everything. And she said to him, "Oh, look, Daddy, I look like you now." And he said he just melted, So yeah, they're already. I mean, they already know their dad is somebody.
Another preacher's in that family.
Yeah. Look, Daddy, I look like you. Isn't that fabulous? Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together.
We all are in this together, including Canon Lee.
Yes.
Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.
Wow.